Who is your least favorite coworker and why? The guy who cannot handle the slightest bit of pressure. Why are you working in a very popular bar Friday and Saturday nights? He'll blame everything that goes wrong on everyone else. He literally walked into me last weekend and spilled the drink he'd made on me, then started shouting about how it was my fault for being stood still, just picking mint. It's like he's an only child that was never told no because he can't deal with even the slightest bit of criticism. I asked him to not dry his hands on the bar towels because I use them to polish glasses and I can't do that when they're wet. He proceeded to smash a bunch of crap about because he doesn't like that. Me, the manager and the owner have spoken about this many times, only for nothing to happen. They both agree his attitude absolutely sucks and something needs to change. And now he's being made supervisor. I'm handing my 2-week notice in on Friday. I could also go off about the compulsive liar who is so much better than everyone else, or the girl who refuses to take direction, resulting in crappy drinks. Or how about the woman who will only work here if she's managing, and then doesn't do anything, and will overrule me if I refuse to serve somebody because they're actually having trouble blinking. They're so drunk. The butthole that talks to everyone like they are 5 years old and won't let them interject that they are already very well aware of what he is explaining and just wanted a one-sentence answer to a very specific question. No one likes working with him but he gets to stay on because he has a lot of experience. Constant talker. Every second of every shift is talk, hum, sing, whistle. No one responds to her and everyone ignores her but it doesn't stop her gums from flapping. Am I right? Followed by no one answering every single day. Had a washer repairman that literally stayed an hour and a half after the repair was done, endlessly yakking to one of our female employees about kale and vegan crap. It was bizarre how unaware he was. I work at a disability services agency. I work one-on-one with individuals, so I don't really have co-workers. However, when I'm working with a participant and we go out somewhere like the library, it's easy to recognize other people who work for my agency. I don't know these workers by name, but I hate some of them because they do literally nothing with their participant, or they treat the person terribly. I've seen a lot of workers just put headphones on the participants and let them watch mindless videos for a long time. That's not work. That's not even babysitting. And it's incredibly disrespectful to the person you're supposed to be serving. Someone told me that they once saw a worker leave her participant in the car so she could go shopping at her. I've run into workers at my agency and have seen them yelling at their participants and treating them disrespectfully. It's disgusting. If you don't want this job, then fricking quit. Don't use people for money and treat them like crap in the process. I have a co-worker that I'm generally friendly with and is an okay person. Has never done anything bad to me personally, but when he gets on a customer service call about something that has affected him, he is so freaking rude to the poor agent. Like to the point that if I were on the receiving end of the call I'd use the "sorry you're breaking up on me sir, hello line and hang the frick up on him. It's made me look at him in a different light and now that I've seen him do it regularly I can barely stand him. You can't be nice to me and nasty to other people for no reason. I see through your fakeness. We must work for the same organization starting with a Y and the co-worker's name starts with a M, because I have the same experience. This is kind of generic, but, as a manager, whoever can't keep their crap together and makes me enforce the rules. Lots of rules exist because if they didn't buttholes would take advantage and nothing would get done. Many of those same rules can be completely ignored when you've got a team populated with responsible adults who are actually interested in doing a good job. My team is all salaried, and I deliberately do not track when they show up and when they leave. Are they getting their work done? Yes. Good. Do they show up for all the meetings they're supposed to? Yes. Good. Can I usually find them if I need to discuss something, etc.? This only works when nobody is trying to take advantage of it. The moment someone gets it in their head that it means they can work fewer hours and get less stuff done because I'm not paying attention. I'm always paying attention. I just don't always care. Now I have to pay attention and care about annoying things like what time they got to work this morning. My co-worker who constantly milks the clock and stands around doing nothing. I usually don't have to deal with him, but today was the final straw. Mother's Day, the busiest freaking day of the year in the restaurant business. He comes in late and is working the grill. I'm the baker, so I don't even work near him. He tells the other guys on the line who are extremely busy that he doesn't have enough pancake batter, which is his responsibility to stock since he's making the pancakes, and proceeds to take a 30-minute break before we open, but he wasn't even there an hour. Then he comes up to me and asks me to make the pancake batter for him because he's super busy. I looked him in the eye and said, that is not my job nor my problem. You decided to take a 30-minute break knowing you didn't have any pancake batter. Make it yourself. I've got things to do. He shut up and made the pancake batter, lol. Good for you for setting him straight. I feel bad saying this because this girl is not malicious in any way, but my coworker never, ever stops talking. She is really into anime, not judging that, but it's not my thing. And she will spend literally hours detailing all the characters and episodes of her shows. She is also writing a fantasy book. Nothing has been actually written, of course, and spends entire 9-hour shifts detailing the ridiculous and unoriginal storyline. Now, you might say I must be encouraging this in some way, but when she does this, I literally do not acknowledge, reply, nod my head, or let her know I'm listening in any way. I will continue to work and even just walk out of the room without saying anything, and she'll start right back up as soon as I'm back. I've asked for quiet, said I need to concentrate so I can't really listen to her right now. I've tried everything short of straight up telling her to button her yap. She still hasn't shut up for a single minute. If I tell the manager, I will look like a huge bee. My coworker who tried to tell me that cancer can be cured by eating healthy, organic foods which boost your immune system, so she recommends people not to get surgery to remove cancerous tumors. She says the risks of surgery is worse than having the cancer and it will go away if you eat healthy. Tell that to Steve Jobs. I just quit my job at Subway yesterday for a few different reasons, but my manager was the main reason. Every time I go into work, she asks me a whole bunch of inappropriate questions like did I have sex with my girlfriend or if she can get some weed off of me, all while in front of customers and the owners. The other reason I quit is because there are huge safety violations and the owner's work ethic sucks. They didn't want us to freshen up the ingredients like we are supposed to. I was just told to change the freshness label to whatever the current day was and just keep working. The hours crap. The pay is crap. The other employees are unprofessional as frick. Stay away from Subway, people. Report that Subway to the corporate headquarters. They may even pay you for it. Subway takes their quality control rather seriously. He is an insecure twerp who talks to everyone like he is in charge of the whole operation. In reality, he seems to me to have very low average intelligence. The quality of his work is completely subpar, and he loves to stir up drama whenever possible. I could go on forever. He lied about accidentally starting a fire at work and asked me to cover for him, while at the same time berating other staff for not being careful about putting their cigarettes out. Every task given to him is accompanied by prolonged and audible groaning, literally for the entire length of the task. He makes sure you know he's unhappy. He listens to his own music in the office very loudly and hums and taps his feet loudly to the best of the music. When someone asks him to turn it down, he then storms off to another group of people to talk crap about how much the person sucks. In a group of talented professionals, he is by far the least talented, least educated, and least willing to learn. When someone gives him advice or direction, his response is literally just silence. He refuses to help himself with anything. He asks for help with things as easy as looking up an address or getting driving directions. He made up his own job title, lead designer, and put it in his email signature. We have a clear and recognized lead designer already. It makes about as much sense as me putting POTUS in my email signature. It's pure delusion. After writing this, I now think he is probably mentally ill or dysfunctional at some level. Even so, frick this guy. He doesn't get fired because we're too nice to do anything about this, and it's a small business. We don't have an hour debt or any way to sort this out. We all just live in misery with this dude. He is also the worst one-upper I've ever seen. And sometimes there's a twist. He will sometimes one-up you by simply not responding to your story after he's told his. He'll literally walk away from you as if you said nothing, as long as he got his story out. Jim, you'd think as a security guard and a retired teacher, he'd have developed some skills that help him handle any situation calmly. Nope. One time this girl was having a seizure at work. Jim started freaking out so badly that it raised the mother of the girl's anxiety so badly that she had a panic attack. Plus he's just so anal about everything. He absolutely must turn all computer monitors facing away from him because he's afraid of the radiation he will get from it. Yeah, everybody has a Jim story. I hate Jim. The ones that never learn to use an inside voice. I shouldn't be able to hear everything you say from the moment you walk in on the other side of the building. These are also the same ones that laugh uproariously at everything for no reason. I had a colleague who would whisper when talking, but her laugh was like 110 dB. I have a coworker who just loves trying to one-up everyone. If you have a story, he has a similar one, but his is always worse better. The worst time this came up was late last year when a friend of mine took his own life. I was at work a few days later and mentioned it to him while trying to explain why I was in a crappy mood and really not looking to put up with other people's crap. And what does he say to me? He says, with a disgusting smug little look on his face, "I have a friend who tried to kill himself, but I got there in time to save his life. It was like a kick in the gut, and I do not think I will ever forgive him for it." I have a coworker who mysteriously disappeared and nobody found the body. He's the pushy, tricky salesman. He will tell you something that, while technically true, would hurt you and help him more in the long run, and he does it without blinking. He rubs how good of a salesman he is in our faces while most of us know that his sales are bulls. Yup, and he's out there closing new deals in the sneakiest way possible, while everyone else has to deal with angry customers that didn't get what they actually needed in the first place. This guy Nathan. We all do things we aren't really supposed to at work, like be on our phones browsing Reddit or maybe take an extra 5 minutes on our break. You know, harmless crap. Every time Nathan saw me do something he reported it. Frick you Nathan, you piece of crap. Randy. Fricking Randy. He overuses alliteration, can't make a graph, and is generally incapable of working on a news crew. Overuses alliteration. This is by far my favorite complaint in this thread. I have a team lead who follows up coaching instructions with whispers that sound almost seductive. Regular voice. Open up the accounting application. You have the bookmark? Open it. Okay. Enter the user. Now click search. Seductive whisper right in my freaking ear. Click search. Searching. Regular voice. Scroll to the bottom and click edit. Now enter the new group you want to add them to. Seductive whisper in my ear again. Sirek. Enter the group. Yes. Now edit. Add the group up. The entire time he's inching closer and closer to my keyboard, desperate to just type for me and do the task himself. It's a mild form of sexual harassment, but it's not me he wants to gently make love to, it's the computer. Regular voice. Now right click and select properties. Seductive whisper in my ear. Properties. We work in a fairly low level, low training position. Not complicated, but as far as she's concerned, it's goddamn rocket science. She's been on the job for a year now and is still asking day one questions and making day one mistakes every single day. The rest of the team spends almost as much time cleaning up after her as we do on our own work. I'm always apologizing to customers on her behalf. My boss put her on the most brainless, mechanical duty and she still manages to frick it up. She's like a program. The moment any situation comes up which she was not specifically programmed for, and I do mean any situation, such as a piece of information being in a different box than usual, her brain shorts out. She has changed my opinion on the phrase "there are no stupid questions." She has this way of breathing in sharply whenever she's about to ask something. Every time I hear that sound a shudder runs down my spine. Details. I don't even care if this doesn't get seen. Finally a place to rant. I work in a grocery store selling gourmet and imported cheeses. The person I work most directly with is a 55-year-old woman. I don't know why she doesn't like me. I can't think of anything in the 2 years we've worked together that would warrant this treatment. But she constantly talks down to me, grumbles under her breath about me, and talks about me when I'm not there. I had a mental breakdown in August of last year, and while I was gone, she told people I had complication from an abortion. When I went into shop and a person I didn't even know asked me if it was true, I ended back up in crisis. Luckily, I have a fantastic support system. She also had started a rumor the only reason my husband had proposed was because I was pregnant. All of these hurt because my family has a history with infertility. I've tricked myself into thinking I don't want kids, and then I hear stuff like that and it hurts. That's just the tip of the iceberg too. She is legitimately the one person I hate the most in the world. Like, that's straight up harassment. If you haven't already, throw the book at her. Write down all the instances you can think of and rough dates, and make a formal complaint. That's not on. Matt. I don't like Matt because he acts like the boss when he's in the same position as me. He also can't control his temper. The guy is in his mid-20s, been to prison, and still acts like a child. Grow up, dude. Corey. That's not a real name. She has terrible hygiene and constantly smells like an Italian sub. She's constantly complaining about money problems but is always talking about how drunk high turned she got last night. When things don't go her way with a sale she turns into an enormous bee. For some reason, she thinks she's a great singer, despite me telling her, when she asked, that she's always off tune. This does not stop her from singing loudly with customers in the store. Constantly brings up to my customers mid-conversation how hard whatever she's doing in her life is. She practically yells when she talks. God, I hate her. The wannabe white rapper who was frequently late, did his job poorly and acted like it was everyone else's fault for expecting him to actually put some effort in, who was caught watching gay pee on company time, which he claimed was of his brother when caught, and tortured a fish for weeks in order to cheat at a noodling contest. Who was caught watching gay pee on company time. Gasp, how dare you. Which he claimed was of his brother when caught. Oh okay, nothing wrong with that. Carry on. The one who stares at me around the office and started following me around. I'm sure to look at my butt. He also loudly declared that I was hot when I started but had lost some of my looks face since then. But my body was perfect. Is that sexual harassment? He said this to a group of men with me standing nearby. I ignored it, but I really don't like that guy. Yes, report the creep. I have a coworker that just does the bare minimum and puts no effort into learning. It drives me nuts. Why can't you learn the basics and why is management keeping you around? What is the value in keeping someone employed when they badmouth the company? Can't use Google and always have an excuse. The sexton. He takes diabolical pleasure in running the vacuum cleaner when I'm practicing the organ. It's especially annoying when I'm in BB major and the vacuum is in its flattish major. If your church is open and affirming, you should embrace personality. Christina. She is the mean girl of the office. We actually used to be good friends but we wronged each other. I apologized to her, but she refused to apologize because she did not think she did anything wrong. For a year, while I was dealing with infertility issues, she was going through a divorce and that was all she talked about. Anytime I brought up my issues, she would usually turn it back to hers. Once her divorce was settled and I went through a third miscarriage, she told me she didn't want to hear about it because she didn't need to deal with the negativity. She likes to tell people how charitable she is but she will talk bad about clients and has no empathy. She will walk by all her co-workers, it's a small office, and not even say hello until her one friend comes in and then she acts like she hasn't seen her in years. She will make a big show of making plans for the office but will exclude a couple of PPL. And she never confronts someone with a small issue. She runs to her boss or the office manager instead of taking care of it discreetly with the co-worker. She is a shallow, small-minded instigator and it would honestly be a harmonious office if it wasn't for her. The one who just shows up, does her job, then goes home. She is married and has a couple dogs and that's all I know about her really. Perfect. The co-worker I have to work with closely. Unfortunately, we share duties. She is proud to be a hard butt, aka being a real bee. Nothing short of utter perfection is good enough. And even when things are perfect, she's seeking out the next error. All day every day I get to listen to her narrate every mistake she finds. She especially loves to point out my mistakes, but when I mention a number entered incorrectly by her, I get, yeah, I didn't mean to. She's inept with computers. I can't count how many times I've shown her the same Excel formula, a basic addition formula. It's painful to watch her mouse to every new cell instead of hitting tab or enter. The worst is how I've shown her to save a file as PDF, to email as a quote, and she still emails the spreadsheet in full, thus giving our customer all of our costs. Every story I tell gets commandeered by her so she can talk about her vile grandchildren. If it's not that, I'm learning about her son's testicular issues or her daughter's struggle with breast problems. That or how she has to wipe her mother when she visits the care home. Crap I don't need to freaking know, but I do, in detail. Worst of all, she's a retiree from the bank. This isn't bad in and of itself, but every day she goes on about how she just does this for fun and doesn't need to work. She was just bored. It infuriates me, because our position would be an amazing opportunity for someone looking to get out of a retail job. Someone in their 20s or 30s looking to develop a real career without needing to go to school for 5 years. To see her wallowing in this job when I know so many more tech-savvy people are looking for a good opportunity makes me irrationally angry. Used to work 10-hour shifts in an office doing email marketing. It's really easy to get distracted and spend an entire shift surfing Reddit or Facebook. To avoid this, I would get up and go on a short walk when I would get burnt out or lose focus. One coworker would always tattle on me and say I was never in my desk. This same coworker would just watch movies on Netflix and fill out reporting documents to say that he did work that he didn't actually do. The company had layoffs later that year and I was laid off, but this guy wasn't. I was pretty salty, lol. When people work long periods of time in front of a computer, everyone has their own way to stay sane and productive. There are better ways to move up in a company than trying to get people in trouble over trivial things. Since this has gotten so big and I've gotten so many requests for stories, all my new stories will be on my new sub RTLS off mic. Feel free to post about the mics of your work there too. I have a coworker who lies to get people in trouble, and over stupid stuff too. Like for example, I work at a spa. Sometimes people will accidentally send the rocks for hot stone treatments down our laundry chute, and every time he says he pulls the sheets out and shakes them out not knowing the rock was there and it hit him in the head. Like he wants them to get in trouble and knows it's not that big of a deal, so he acts like he got hurt because of it. Another example is I accidentally left one of the dryer covers halfway off where it could just fall out and onto the floor. He said as he was walking by it fell on his foot. Another feigned injury to get someone in trouble for something small. He also takes pictures of small things that we do wrong, like one time there was a square inch sized piece of paper towel I missed while sweeping, and instead of telling me, he took a picture of it and sent it to the boss. He'll also take pictures of overloaded loads of laundry and send them to the boss. The boss literally told us he doesn't care about all the crap he snitches on us for, but he just keeps him around because he is a really good worker. He also is the rudest person you'll ever meet in your life and tries to boss people around even though we are pretty much under everyone there and him and I are on the same level. He acts like he's my boss. I get into it with him every single day. One day I got pulled over on the way to work, but I was really early that day, so I was still 2 minutes early for my shift. He was the only person there when I arrived and I told everyone throughout the day that I got pulled over. Later I walked in on him telling my boss I was lying about being pulled over to cover for the fact I was late. I blew up on him. I was so freaking mad. I have many other stories about this butthole and could rant about him literally all day. I've never disliked someone as much as him. Please tell us more. I have a coworker who acts like he hates my guts. We work on a school bus together. He's the driver and I'm the aide. Preschool, I buckle the kids into their car seats and maintain order. He refuses to talk to me, and when he does, he is very snappy and rude. I can't even ask him a question because most of the time he ignores me, just doesn't answer. Last time I tried, "Hey, is kid riding today?" He ignores me. I'd like to keep her seat clear. He blows up, shouting at me, "You should know this route by now. You've been on it for 8 months. Don't you know we just passed her stop?" I apologized and told him that it was my bad, that I wasn't paying attention and that I wanted to be able to talk to him on friendly terms. He never answered me, just ignored me. That was the last time we spoke. Now months later we're still riding in total silence. No hello, good morning, no goodbye. I figure things out for myself. I don't ask him questions and he doesn't speak to me. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.